How did you compare that to some of strategies, for example, that you don't have the ability to do the straps and everything else, where you do 3 or 4 days and then you collect every 2 hours or 4 hours, and then you kind of try to
We haven't done. We got a new guy here, Dr. Lee, and he's kind of looked at some of these urine markers, sampling every so many hours and compared to a total collection. We've done that as well, and what we've done is actually collect the total urine and then take a sample of that, measure creatinine, and then see if we can do it. And on average, it's reasonable, but there's going to be cows where it's just terrible, just not even close.
So some individual variation.
There's individual variation, and and so if you did it on 15, 20 cows, you're probably going to get the right average number. But if you're just doing on a few cows, you have to be very careful of that. So it's to me, if urine nitrogen or urine energy, whatever, is a primary measurement, I'd be leery to use markers as my only measurement.
If he could explore a little bit on what are easier assessment, because probably then we could have more done in other trials, right? Even maybe with more cows, but less precision. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Alex got another paper on, actually it's on magnesium, but he looked at this estimating urine magnesium with total collection or with markers. And he can go into that. I can't remember everything he found, and then this Dr. Lee has done some of that with nitrogen as well. So some people have looked at this as ways. And again, precision is poor. Accuracy with enough cows looks to be reasonable.
So whenever we compared it to total collection using creatinine versus actually measuring volume of urine produced each average across those 4 days, on average it was accurate. But as Bill had mentioned, there's a lot of variation from cow to cow, so you would probably need more animals. Some of the stuff that Chan-He was trying to address was on the optimal number of times that you need to sample throughout the day to capture the diurnal variation in creatinine production. And so I think he would be a better resource. I forget what they had found was the optimal amount of times that you would need to spot sample to capture all that diurnal variation. But yeah, they've looked at that as well in fecal markers to measure digestibility.
Tell me more about this body composition thing, because I think you got something pretty cool out of there. Like when you're oscillating, is the cow making that up from where? Where is that coming from? If that would be from muscle or for somebody else, but that seems pretty labor intensive.
Yeah, so it was, so basically what we did and how the theory works is we injected urea into the cow's blood, and that urea will equilibrate with all the body water. And so because body water and the amount of protein is pretty much constant, you can figure out how much body water, body protein, and body ash, and then by difference determine body lipid based off of how urea concentration changes before and after you inject that set amount of urea based on body weight. So then what we did is we used that urea dilution method before we actually started treatments, and then at the end of 50 days to try to track is there a change in the body composition. So is this what we had hypothesized? Is this enhanced milk production that these cows are having on the oscillating diet? Is that because they improve their efficiency, or are they actually mobilizing protein off their backs to spare the loss in protein that is coming from the diet. So we wanted to ensure and eliminate that as one of the factors improving efficiency when you oscillate.
But you have to do that, so you pretty much just infuse, and you don't even need to leave a catheter there. Then you go to the tail and collect blood samples as you go?
Right. So there was a large study done, I think it was at the RAU in Europe, where they evaluated body composition after doing the urea dilution method, and they found that worked well compared to actual total body composition measurements by measuring all the components and then measuring chemical composition. That if we infuse urea into the jugular vein and then 12 minutes later take another blood sample out of the tail vein, that you could determine what we call the urea space volume of those cows, or the amount of body water basically can be calculated.
And then do you remember what you found in this paper?
So overall, we found that cows, they didn't change their protein, total body protein. So whenever they received less protein in the diet, they just reduced their milk production. They didn't change any of their body mobilization. But we did find that they were in positive energy balance, because over time they gained lipid. And then overall, there was no treatment effects on body composition. So whether you fed high or low protein or oscillated, total body lipid and protein was unaffected.